Hello and welcome to the Imperial College London Cycle Scheme webinar. My name's Zach and today I'm going to tell you all about Cycle Scheme. We're going to look at how it works and focus on the positive health and well-being aspects of cycling to work. So let's take a look at what will be covered today. So we'll start with an overview of Cycle Scheme. We're going to explain what Cycle Scheme is and how it works. I'll then show you some examples of how much money you can save, where you can get a bike, and the many other benefits of cycling. So what is Cyclescheme? So Cyclescheme is an employee benefit that saves you between 23 and 39% on the cost of a bike and or accessories. You can apply for a certificate up to £3,000 via the Imperial College London Cyclescheme. So through Cyclescheme, you have access to over 2,600 independent retailers nationwide, ensuring you can get the perfect bike package to suit your needs. You can choose from 3 types of bike packages, which we'll come on to a bit later, but through the scheme you can get a bike, accessories and other components too. Finally, you get to spread the cost direct from salary over 12 equal monthly instalments, and you pay nothing up front and the payments are taken tax efficiently from your salary by your employer. Your salary deductions will come from your gross salary and savings are made in your net salary as you don't pay tax or national insurance on the cost of your bike package. So just a little reminder, you are not allowed to add your own funds to your certificate, so the amount you apply for must be the complete bike package that you wish to hire. Let's take a look at what some people have had to say about Cyclescheme. So to start with, we'll look at the physical benefits. So cycling is a great form of exercise and can make you feel better in general, but it can also actually reduce the risk of heart disease. Cycling also burns around 5 calories every 5 minutes, lowers cholesterol and reduces the risk of strokes and high blood pressure. Cycling boosts your immune system as well, which reduces sickness, and it also increased life expectancy by 2 years. Lots of physical benefits, but let's move on to the mental well-being effects. So we know that cycling is good for you physically, but it can also do great things for your mental health too. A number of studies have shown that cycling can enhance brain function and make us sharper and more alert by speeding up connections in the brain. As a form of exercise, cycling helps us to control the hormones responsible for stress, which can help us stay in better control of our emotions. So with workplace stress and anxiety on the rise, boosting our ability to take control of them is critical for our long-term mental well-being. Cycling makes our body release feel-good hormones, so when we cycle, we feel better. So with Cyclescheme, you have access to over 2,600 bike stores. They're a mix of independent bike stores, online stores and click and collect, and this gives you the ultimate choice in brands, models and the way you shop. We work in partnership with our retailer network with the aim of getting you the most from the benefit. We also recommend that you visit a local Cyclescheme partner store to get advice on the best bike package for you. You can use this to work out the best bike for you based on your personal commute and do your research online as well. Build a bike package that's going to suit your needs. So you can choose to redeem in-store, online or opt for click and collect. You can review the retailer listing, which can be found at the URL on screen, which is cyclescheme.co.uk/retailers. You can search by brand, postcode, town, and also filter by online and in-store options. If you do need support in selecting the perfect bike, you can use the bike finder option by visiting www.cyclescheme.co.uk/bike finder. Complete the form here and one of our friendly retail team colleagues will be in touch to help. So with Cyclescheme, you have a few choices when it comes to packages, and you can also choose a package that suits your specific commuting needs. So you can opt for a complete package, which includes a bike and any safety accessories you may need. And we always recommend you do your research and visit a local Cyclescheme partner store if you can do so you can get advice on the best bike for your personal commute. It's also suggested that you spend between 10 and 20% of the cost of the bike on a decent bike lock or even 2 to protect your bike. You can also opt for a bike-only package, so you may already have your helmet, lock, lights, reflective clothing, and you may just wish to get another bike or an alternative bike, such as a fold-up bike for mixed mode commuting. For example, Why not commute part by train and then part by bike? So finally, you also have the option of an accessories only package, and this includes components too. So if you already have a bike that you can use and you just want to update your accessories, through Cyclescheme you have access to over 500 brands for this. So example of accessories are locks, mudguards, pedals, reflective clothing, helmets, child seats and more. There are a few items that are not covered under the scheme, and these are off-bike items such as GPS systems, car racks or nutrition items. So it's really important to take your time, get some advice and work out your budget. So let's take a look at how it works. So first of all, you need to work out your budget. So look at what you need. Do you need a new bike or just accessories, or do you need both? Ensure to include additional costs such as delivery if you're purchasing online. You'll then need to request your certificate. So once you've worked out your budget down to the penny, you'll need to request your certificate via your Cyclescheme webpage. Your details are then processed and we will email you to review and sign your hire agreement. This will detail all of the terms and conditions that you need to agree to partake in the scheme. You'll then need to redeem your certificate. So once all administration has been processed and you've followed the steps in your email to select your retailer, your Cyclescheme certificate will then be issued to your Cyclescheme account. All you need to do at this stage is to redeem your certificate with your chosen Cyclescheme partner store. You can do this either online or in store. At the end of your 12-month hire period, Cyclescheme will contact you with your end of hire options. As remember, this is initially a hire scheme, so an end of hire option needs to be offered at the end of your hire. So once you've completed your 12-month hire agreement, you've completed your salary sacrifice deductions and made your national insurance and tax savings, Cyclescheme will be in touch to confirm your end of hire option. The reason this is in place is that there must be a separate transaction to transfer ownership of the bike package. Without this, HMRC would class the agreement as hire purchase rather than a hire, and the tax exemption would not be available. So let's look at what your options will be. So you'll be offered 3 options at the end of hire. The first option is to own it later. So selecting this option, you would extend the hire agreement by 3 years. You would pay a deposit of 3 or 7%, 3% if your bike package is £500 total or less, and 7% if it's over £500. The second option would be to own it now. So to take ownership straight away at the end of the hire period, you would need to pay a 25% fee, which would amount to 25% of the total certificate value. The third option is to return the bike to us at your own cost at this stage. We do not recommend this, and we do recommend that you select the own it later option and extend the hire agreement, because this allows you to retain the most savings through the scheme. So let's take a look at some of the additional benefits for the scheme. So not only do you get to save money on tax and national insurance, you get to spread the cost and reap the many physical, mental, environmental and financial well-being benefits of the scheme. There's also some additional benefits on top of this. So first of all, you're eligible for a free 6-week service if you redeem your certificate in store. And this is ideal for fine-tuning your bike to ensure everything fits perfectly for you. You can also sign up for BICMO cycle insurance, and you have the option of activating 14 days of free cycle insurance when you redeem your certificate. This will give you time to either opt for a discounted bike insurance via our insurance partners BICMO, organise via another provider, or also see if you can add to your home and contents insurance. This is a really important one because should your bike be lost, damaged or stolen, you must replace it to continue to benefit from the tax and national insurance savings. Otherwise, you will have to pay any outstanding salary deductions from your net pay. We also provide easy enrolment with the bike register, where you can register your bike, make, model and frame number, and a photo of your bike. If your bike is then unfortunately lost or stolen and the police happen to recover it, there's a greater chance of being reunited with it. So on top of that, we also offer discounted British cycling membership and the bike club, where you can get 1 month free membership on renting a bike for your child/children. And finally, you also will have access to our Love to Ride community, where you can log your rides, earn badges and enter challenges and competitions. So there's lots of extra additional benefits when you take part in the scheme. So let's round up. Your scheme hire period and repayment period is 12 months. You'll have the 12 equal payments deducted from your gross salary, and you'll make your tax and national insurance savings via your net salary. Your scheme limit is up to £3,000, meaning that you can get everything you need to cycle to work and make a tax and national insurance saving on every single penny. You will save between 23 and 39% on tax and national insurance during the hire period, and this takes into consideration the end of hire options as well. You make your application via your Cyclescheme webpage at any time during the year. And at the end of your initial 12-month hire period, Cyclescheme will contact you with your end of hire options, as we've mentioned previously. So let's take a look at some of the general FAQs around Cyclescheme. So can I get 2 bikes? Yes, however, both must be for your own use and not for your family or children. Can I use 2 stores? No, the certificate must be redeemed in full in one transaction from one store. Can I top up the value? No, this is not permissible under the HMRC guidelines. So when you're applying for your certificate, it's really important to ensure that you've applied for the correct amount and that you've included any additional costs such as delivery fees. Do I have to ride my bike to work every day? So no, you do not, but at least 50% of your bike and or accessories used should be for cycling to work purposes. Can I change my certificate value after I apply? No, you cannot change the value after applying, so again, really important to ensure that you select the correct amount, as you can't change this at a later date. Who can I contact if I have an application query? So you can email HR policy and reward imperial.ac.uk for support if you have any queries around the scheme. Now, in addition to the main cycle scheme, you're also able to apply for the bike rental scheme. With the UK's first cycle to work scheme for bike rentals, you can save money and spread the cost of commuting with the brand you know and trust. You can save between 30 and 42% and spread the cost on annual membership or monthly subscriptions. So to join the bike rental scheme, you'll need to visit the Imperial College London Cyclescheme webpage at cyclescheme.co.uk. Next, select Apply Now and choose Rent a Bike and complete your request. Your employer will then review and approve your application, and then you'll repay the cost tax-free straight from your salary, as you do with the main cycle scheme. The key difference with this scheme is there isn't an end of hire transaction. We'll then send you a code via email. Redeem this for your chosen membership and you can start commuting by bike rental. So let's take a look at some of the FAQs around the bike rental scheme. So which hire bike brands can I use on Cyclescheme bike rental? So you can visit cyclescheme.co.uk/rent a bike to see our full list of bike retail partners. Can I use Cyclescheme bike rental alongside standard Cyclescheme? Yes, you can. In most cases, you can have a standard Cyclescheme agreement concurrently with a bike rental agreement. Do I have to use Cyclescheme bike rental for commuting and work trips only? No, you do not. So you can use the bikes for leisure too, but the majority of trips should be for work-related commutes. Do I have to spread the cost? Yes, depending on your chosen bike rental membership, you will undertake a 6 or 12-month repayment plan. If you have any questions around bike rental, you can also email info@cyclescheme.co.uk or call us on 0344 879 5101. You can also find more information at cyclescheme.co.uk/rent-a-bike. Thanks for listening to the Imperial College London Cyclescheme webinar. I hope you found this really useful if you're thinking about joining the scheme and starting to cycle to work.